So the Hangout on Air has started. So we're broadcasting live. Just going to wait a moment till we get some viewers. There we go. All right. So welcome everyone to the AP CSP audit webinar hosted by Mobile CSP. I am Pauline Lake. I am the teaching consultant with Mobile CSP, and I'm joined in the room right now with our Connecticut hybrid teachers. And I know many of you are watching online, so feel free, if you have questions, to submit them in the chat as well. This webinar will be for those who are teaching the course as AP in the 2017-2018 academic year. So if you're teaching the course as AP, there will be a process you have to go through in order to have your course audited and set up, so that way your students will be officially enrolled and will be set up to be able to take the exam at the end of the academic year. So I'm going to switch to doing a screen share. You're doing okay there. All right, so I'm hoping everybody's going to be able to see my screen. So a quick overview of what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about the official syllabus that we have for 2017-2018, and kind of then skip into an overview of the AP audit process. Then I have a volunteer here with me who's going to do a live demo with you to show you the audit process and to walk you through it. Last year we had done screenshots, and for some that worked, but others it just would be a little bit better to have that live continuous showing of what's happening. So we're going to do that, and you're welcome to, when we get to that part, join in and do it at the same time, or you can hold off and wait till later to do that. And then I'm going to wrap up with just talking about what the AP communities are and how those can be used to benefit you during the academic year, in addition to the Mobile CSP community and support system that you will have as well. So first up, the AP Computer Science Principles. There's a main page that they have on the Advances in AP College Board site that has information about the course itself, the audit process, as well as other information, including the providers. If you're watching this or you're here with me, you have chosen Mobile CSP as the curriculum that you'll be using. So you'll be using our syllabus in order to go through the audit process. So I just want to show briefly the page for AP CSP, the main Advances in AP page. There's the introductory information and lots of other helpful stuff, and including for some of you may be interested in what schools will accept the credit. Your students may start to ask that question. There's a list of the schools that have given a pledge to be able to accept that credit, saying they will accept it. So that's a common thing that teachers come here for, and we'll come back in a little bit, but there's lots of helpful links on the right-hand side. So back. So for AP CSP, the College Board has endorsed several curriculum and providers in their process in the last year. So Mobile CSP last year became one of the endorsed curriculum, and our professional development is also endorsed. And what that means is that they're saying, the College Board says, Mobile CSP covers all of the framework, and we're meeting the requirements in order to successfully teach the AP CSP framework to your students and prepare them for the exam at the end of the year. We also have the approved professional development, which means if you were doing an AP Summer Institute, we are classified as an equivalent or a substitute for that, so you don't have to do both. I know some of you may have been interested in doing the AP Summer Institutes. You can still do it. We still recommend it. It's a totally different experience. You get more information, but just know that they don't focus on the content and how to deliver their curriculum. It's an overview of what the CSP framework is and kind of diving into the performance tasks, whereas in Mobile CSP's PD, for example, we cover that, we cover the rubrics, but we also cover the whole entire curriculum with you. As you know, those of you who are ending today, you've made it through the curriculum just like your students would. So that is, our professional development is equivalent almost to the AP Summer Institute. So you don't have to do both, but you're welcome to. So that is our endorsement that we have. We have our syllabus last year. It was officially reviewed and approved in 2016, 2017. For the audit process, teachers had to take our PDF and use it identically as it was without any changes and upload that to the site. For this year, we've made some changes to the syllabus. It's currently going to be under review with the College Board to make sure that the changes and tweaks that we made didn't interfere with any of the requirements that they had. If you were to choose to write your own syllabus and create your own syllabus for the course, there are requirements, very specific requirements that you have to meet. But we're saying to you that you don't have to write your own syllabus. You can use ours and officially adopt our syllabus to use as is. So we have the teacher site here, which is currently under development at the moment with the course logistics. So this is 1.12, which has the syllabus from last year linked at the top. It has the overview of the AP audit process, which I'm going to do live with you. And it has the overview of the course itself with the suggested sample schedule for the year. So it's back in Teach 1.12. And once we have the approved syllabus and go ahead from the College Board, we'll link in the 2017 one. I just want to show you briefly what it's starting to look like. So it's relatively, if you would take a look, it's going to look the same. I think one of the big changes is we added a header this year. Last year, I was a newbie when I was doing this and didn't realize that you could add the header and kind of flare it up a bit and put your own touch on it. So we added our banner or our header there with our logo to make sure that it was obvious that it was Mobile CSPs. We also made the changes this year, as you know, to the curriculum. So we moved some lessons around, and that is reflected in the unit pages. So each unit, there are lessons that are highlighted within the document that they just give a brief overview of the activity and what learning objectives they're aiming to hit. And that was updated for the lessons according to the changes that we just made. And the other thing I put in here was that schedule at the bottom. I felt like that was a common question that was coming from the teachers about how the timing works, so I added that into the syllabus itself. So that's just a quick preview. Not going to give you access to it yet because of it not being approved, but that essentially would be what the College Board would approve and would have in their system. And for this year, the process, the AP audit process has changed, so you don't actually need the syllabus to do the audit process, so it makes it a lot easier. So a quick overview of the process. The College Board has provided some instructions for you that are linked in here if you're doing this on your own at home. There are some instructions with pictures to follow to help guide you through. But again, I'm going to do that live now in just a moment. After you complete the AP audit process on the site, you follow the instructions on their audit site. You would inform your AP administrator or coordinator at your school. Someone is designated to communicate with the College Board. If not, you need someone. And that's another conversation to have, or a question to ask at the end, what to do if you don't have an AP administrator. But most schools at this point you do. You have some other AP course, most schools, that you have the AP administrator already set up, and they'll get your email that's generated from the College Board to say, hey, this teacher just tried to do the AP audit process. Is this really a teacher at your school? Will they be teaching this course? They're going to verify that all your information is true. So when your AP administrator gets back to you, I know it's the summertime, so maybe that's why I'm saying inform your AP administrator if you have one, to let them know you're going to be doing the process, so that way they're looking and checking their email and are ready to accept that. When they do approve you, the College Board is going to send you an official letter saying you've completed the AP audit process. They'll also send you an access code at some point at the beginning of the academic year. They'll give you access to the AP digital portfolio site. That digital portfolio site that you'll get access to is where your students will also be putting their performance tasks and uploading their work, and that's how you'll get to review their work before they officially submit to the College Board. So that's a very important site, the digital portfolio site. The College Board will actually cover more about that. They'll have webinars themselves because that is officially a College Board thing. They handle that, not Mobile CSP, so you want to look out for their emails and make sure you're getting their notifications. And you want to look for that access code so you can set up your digital portfolio and get your students set up at the beginning of the year. It's a lot easier than waiting to the end. So that's the overview. I'm going to start here going through some quick steps that we're going to go through, and then we're actually going to do them. So the screenshots that I mentioned are here. You basically go to that AP site, that advances in AP site. On the right-hand corner where those related links are, you click the AP course audit, and that will open up the course audit page. You're going to either create an account if you don't have a College Board account. So I believe that they're connected is what we figured out. So if you have a College Board account for anything, you should be able to just sign right in with that information. You may need to look for it. I know some of us tend to forget what we use as our login. If you've never had a College Board account, you would need to create your account. It's pretty straightforward, pretty simple. It takes a couple of minutes to set up. But this is the audit site that you'd want to log into. Again, what you're going to need is you're going to need your school zip code, your school name, and your primary job function you'll be asked for. For that one, you want to say that you're a K-12 AP teacher. So those are just 3 pieces of information, and I think it just makes it a little quicker if you have those ready and available. When you log in, you're going to see that your school is going to be listed there. This is just a sample that I use. I'm not really a teacher at that school. I work at that school, but I don't really teach there. So you would see this page, and you would start to go through the instructions that were provided by the College Board. Again, those are linked over on the right-hand side for access there, but I'm going to show you live now. Okay, so I'm going to invite Kelly up. So we can't see you, they can't see you, but they're going to see what we're doing. Okay. So the first step was to go to the CSP Advances in AP main page. You scroll down, and on the right-hand side it says AP CSP Course Audit. Once you're there, you have the option to either get started and create an account. So Kelly is with me now. She has an account. So I just want to show you, if you do not have a College Board account, if you've never created or worked with the College Board, you can click Create an Account and fill in the necessary information with your account information. And down at the bottom here is where it's going to ask you for those 3 pieces of information that I said to have available: your zip code, where do you work, and your primary job function. You would select as the K-12 AP teacher. So that is just if you don't have an account. It's a relatively quick process. But if you have worked with the College Board, even if you've never taught AP before, if you have any account with them, you're going to want to sign in. So I'm going to ask Kelly to sign in. All right, so Kelly does not have access to the AP course audit, but it's going to ask if she wants to get access to that. So if we scroll down here, it's going to ask for those same pieces of information. So your job function would be teacher, your zip code, and your school. Now, this is going to look a little different for everybody depending on where you are. If you have already set up and taught AP before, you're going to be able to log in and it's going to have your information already. If you don't have the account and just created one, you have done that on the sign up page, so you wouldn't do it here. It's going to look a little different, but this is what you want to look for to get access to provide those 3 key pieces of information. Go ahead and click finish. Awesome. So this means Kelly is officially signed in. She has her school information there. And once you have that set up, you want to go ahead and you want to start the process of following the instructions that were provided by the College Board. So you want to hit Add New Course. From the drop-down menu, you're going to select Computer Science Principles, Add Course, and so now you've successfully added Computer Science Principles. You want to go ahead and you have 2 things to complete. You have to complete the course audit form, and then you have the submit a syllabus. So the course audit form you can go to. That's what has to be done first. It will be a series of questions and testaments that you have to agree to. So if we go through these, you're going to say that you'd be teaching at your school during the 2017-2018 academic year. You would read through the grade level policy. Just open it and close it. Okay. So they want to make sure that you're aware of all of their policies. You want to take some time to read through these. Have you read the most recent AP CSP course and exam description? Yep, that's your handy dandy purple book that you have, your best friend that you carry with you everywhere you go, right guys? And your guidelines for using advanced placement trademarks. It's uncommon, but they want to have it there just in case. If you're using their logo, their trademark for anything, got to follow their rules. And then they want to make sure that you are meeting the curricular requirements. So are your students going to be provided with opportunities to meet learning objectives connected to the 6 computational thinking practices as described in the course and exam description? Yes, right, because you're doing Mobile CSP. Students are provided with opportunities to meet the learning objectives within each of the 7 big ideas. Yep, because you're doing Mobile CSP. Students are provided the required amount of class time to complete the AP through course assessments Explore. So they complete the Explore performance tasks, absolutely. And they'll be provided the required amount of time for the Create. Okay, so the full 12 hours. Then you're going to go ahead and you're going to submit to your administrator. That's going to generate that email to let them know that you had submitted something. Now it's going to open up the opportunity for you to be able to submit your syllabus. This is the part that was significantly improved, in my opinion, from last year to make it a lot easier. So you're going to go to Adopt Syllabus, and you are going to look for Mobile CSP. So it's number 5. So you're going to see the one from last year. That's the one they currently have in the system. As I said, we're going to go through the review process to have them put the new one in with the updates that we made. You have to download it first. So they force you to download it so you have a copy of it, but it's available on the website as well. And that's it. Now what you're doing is you're waiting for your AP administrator to follow up with their part to say that they verified that you're going to teach the course and that you're at the school. And then once they do that, once they approve you, The College Board would send you the approval email, and the access code for the digital portfolio would follow. Okay. Thank you, Kelly. Okay. So for submitting, you have the submission of all of the materials that were on the audit site to be granted access to the digital portfolio platform. And you should be doing this by October 1st. So if you're in the Mobile CSP PD, I recommend that you do this when you watch the webinar. Do it now, do it today. The sooner the better, because you're going to be waiting for your AP administrator to make that approval, and that could take quite a bit of time if they're away on vacation. I would say aim for getting this done before the school year starts. The sooner the better, so it's over and done with and you don't forget about doing it. You don't want to have that happen. You don't want to forget and then your students are out of the opportunity to be able to take the AP exam at the end. So if you're teaching as AP, go ahead and get it done. As you saw, it's a pretty quick process once you get signed in to go through. But definitely have to complete it by October 1st. And last but not least is the AP teacher communities. So there's an AP teacher community that you can join for additional support throughout the year. You can join specifically the CSP community. Okay. Where you can get more information, more resources. And they have someone that is approving your access to that, usually pretty quick about getting back. That's a good place to go to connect with others who are teaching the course in addition to the Mobile CSP community. You also have the AP Computer Science community, which is the larger community overall for computer science. So we recommend joining those and becoming a part of those for the additional support that's there. You may find other conversations or questions that you have also being asked there by other teachers. You may find a question you had was already answered and responded to by someone from the College Board in particular. There are often College Board representatives that are there answering questions. Okay. So that wraps up the webinar. If you have questions or concerns, I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Come back. All right. And I'm just going to check out the chat over here. Will the College Board accept a teacher who teaches 2 different AP CSP courses using 2 different syllabi? I do not know. I have not heard of someone using 2 different curriculum. That is a good question for the College Board. Okay. I'm not seeing any more questions in the chat. So I would say if you have other questions, feel free to reach out to info@mobile-csp.org. Always happy to help answer questions.
The answer is no to the course. The teachers can only sign up for a specific course. So once they click on the first drop down you have where I want to teach Mobile CSP, once they've selected it just once, they won't be able to select it a second time.
Okay, so sounds like for Lisa, you can't add a second CSP course with a different syllabi.
Correct.
I know on the digital portfolio site, they do ask you to say which language you choose there as well.
Yes.
I wonder if you could select more than one, and that's another way to go about. I think for their purposes, when they do the adoption of you becoming an AP CSP teacher, they just want to know that you have at least one section. So that way they can give you access to the digital portfolio site. Ralph is in his office. We'll tell him you said hi. All right. So thank you to everybody for joining us. Feel free to send questions to mobile-csp.org, info@ or research@ if you're doing the research project. And congratulations on making it to the last day of the PD. Bye, everyone.